Asia. So anyways, there it is, done. Probably put the cross together wrong, but I'd rather have it protected behind and instead of having it out the front. I guess I probably should have had it out the front, but sometimes they get knocked off. So it's easier to take, sometimes it's better to take the PTO shaft off and grease your PTO shaft and this at the same time. I don't care for these on a baler because they chatter when you go around the corners. And that's just the way. Oh boy. Okay. What? Tim's being weird. You see it's the 4910. Alright. Oh boy. Boy oh boy. I guess I can't really maybe you can tell by my voice that this is a little bit effed up. Okay. So, wow. Alright, so this baler's a little different than the other one. It has many less bales on it, by about 10,000 less bales on it than the last 4910. The last 4910, somebody did not, they had put in a new crankshaft in it, which I like that crankshaft better. But this had an automatic grease. The other one had an automatic greaser. This one does not. It has a little grease, Zerk there, which runs a metered amount of grease back to that Packer's forks, or the Packer forks. Well, when Joe started it up, those things were rattling so bad they sounded like they were metal on metal, which I thought, holy shit, that sounds like those things are slapping. So I had him start putting grease in the things, and he pumped about a half a tube of grease into those things, and it was still going bang, 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 and I started to get a little concerned that it wasn't going to stop making that horrendous noise, and I was going to be pulling those, there's bushings that you put in there, and there's little, not only are there bushings in there, but there's spacers that you can put in and take out depending on the thickness of the bushings. So he started greasing the shit out of it, and after probably a full tube and a half of grease, it stopped making the noise. The grease finally got worked through. So we continued to put grease into it to see, and it's in here, to see how it worked out. And they are tight. It's not like they're loose. It's just that they had absolutely no lubricant in them. None whatsoever. It was awful. It was awful. So the other thing we did was we retimed it. The time, what did I move this thing? 5 teeth? No, 5.
Oh, you did it twice the one time, yeah.
Yeah, I moved this thing 5 teeth, advanced that 5 teeth because the timing was off, which makes a huge difference when it comes to the stuffing and the way the bale forms. I'm not disgusted with it. I'm actually pleased with the condition of the baler, but there is a few things, my Pandy upgrades that need to be done. Tim, are you sure you got the right tap on that? That's 1/8 inch?
Well, it's not 1/8 inch, but it's
the 27 whatever, right?
1367.
No. I hope you didn't put the wrong one in. For that straight nipple, it should have been an 1/8 inch drill bit.
It seems to fit.
Okay. I'm going to see how this works. Did you drill a test hole first?
That is the test hole.
Uh-oh. Fit? Well, son of a bitch. Okay, we'll get to keep them. All right, so I did this on the last baler. These are non-greasable, and even today, if you've seen the video that I did, even the new balers are non-greasable, and I don't think they have oil that runs to those machines, but they're non-greasable. So I'm putting the grease Zerk on there, and or Timothy's putting them in. There's 4 of them, huh?
Look at the bit.
What's wrong with it?
See the grease?
Well, there is grease in it. It's just oil. It's black. So we're going to put that on there, and we're going to put the slow-turning Schaefer's molybdenum grease into it. This chain here is as dry as a fart, popcorn fart, I guess, if you want to use that term. Yeah. So these chains will have to be oiled. This is interesting. That is a muffler clamp. A muffler clamp. This is missing a bolt. Yeah, so I got a muffler clamp on there, as you can see. They welded the gib key which isn't any big deal. I can grind that off of there. But take the muffler clamp off, unweld the gib keep. I got to pull this stuff off. I think if it isn't worn out, I need to put new. It has to be. This thing has been hot. You can tell. You can see it's discolored. So, well, it's actually been so hot that there's no paint left on it. Anyway, that's always a problem. If you do not lubricate that part and you don't have that thing tensioned correctly, like when there's no bolt in it, that's huge. The other thing is, when they decided that they had no tension and it was slipping all the time, they just bottomed out the springs. So this all has to get replaced. They bottomed that thing out so hard that it actually bent the bolt.
When I was trying to rebale the bales, it kept slipping.
Well, yeah, there's no tension there. You tried to rebale it with this?
Yeah, I had to take that old one out, and I rebaled a couple of dry ones. To send that
Through, to send this one through, and it didn't, and it would just slip.
It kept slipping.
Yeah, well, that clutch has to be replaced. Clutch and springs gets replaced. I'm going to have to call them tomorrow morning. Well, it has to be clean. Timothy was supposed to do that while I was away. I actually need I'm going to go get my paper and get a list. So, yeah, right. I put the large 1000 in the 7530, and this is all working correctly. Yeah, not that this tractor is not going to be running this baler, but it is just on here for, well, just on here for today. Not that it couldn't. I mean, it would run this baler like a champ, but we're going to put the 4960 on it. So anyway, yeah, with everything else that's going on here, you go ahead and put them in. I'll grease everything. Yeah, what else is wrong with this thing? There's a hay dog or a plunger dog that's missing, just completely missing.
Two?
There's two.
There's two of them that are missing?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Well, I'm going to have to climb inside there. Yeah, all right. Well, whatever. I'll take his word for it. Now, I know I've shown everybody these springs that are missing. I actually have brand new springs to put on here. The stupid funny thing is there's a brand new spring in the toolbox, and it was never put on. But, you know, whatever. I've got all new rollers, all new springs. They're all going to go on. And even up top, I've got all new rollers and all new springs. So the baler's going to go to the field doing a very good job being able to do it to function. I have a bent needle, which I have to address. It's about $600. I was going to get one from a friend of mine, but that's not going to happen.
That's one.
Yeah, I thought it was just one. It's just the one. Yeah. And I think there might be a broken spring. So that one right there, the second one is out. Second from the top.
This one doesn't have sharp objects in it like the Crown.
No, it doesn't have an
See
ejector.
that mess? That's what was such a pain in the ass to take
Yeah,
out.
well, we're going to chop these out like we did the last time. Whoever owned this thing before did not ever clean the bale out of the bale chamber. This was built up. How far across was it? Dad said it was built up pretty much.
It was built up here, and it was built up there, and then, of course, I found out and taken all the hay out and backed up all the way there.
Yeah, all the way to the front. So when you do that, it doesn't make a good bale, and it causes a problem. So all this stuff, I still have to chop these out, both sides. What that does is allow a gap here so that things don't pinch and stick. Because when it pinches and sticks, then it builds up and you get that mess. That stays in there for the 20 years that this thing has been in existence. And of course, I'm going to do the boards like I did before. And huh?
The diamond plate.
Yeah, the diamond plate, and I'm probably going to possibly do something on the top and the bottom to extend these so that we get a little more oomph out of them. Because the more you put in there, and do you remember, Tim, if there were baffles in there? Do you remember if there were baffles in there? Remember the little wedges, hay wedges? I think there was 2 sets of them, wasn't there?
I think there was.
Yeah. The problem with hay wedges is the damn things, they'll back up on it. So, yeah, I'm thinking of putting...
What's the wire dangling out underneath?
That's just the one from up top.
Yeah, it's for the turn signals. I'm just going to take that bar off because nobody pays attention to them anyway. I'm just going to put nobody pays attention to them. I'm just going to put the...
They paid attention to the other one because that one was a good one.
Yeah, these aren't... Well, unless you want to put them all back on, I don't care. Huh?
Grease.
Grease?
Grease. I don't know where that line leads, but wherever the grease is greased.
That one up that.
Greased.
Oh, it did grease. Oh, yeah. Well, that was from the lower line, yeah. So anyway, all right, whatever. Oh, I was going to show. Give me that flashlight.
The one.
Where'd you find this one?
I got it from Pringles.
Oh, okay. So I think it's the third one in is bent, and it has to be replaced. I'm going to pull it out and see if I can straighten it out. But if I can't, then it's bent, and I'm just going to buy a new one. So that's just the needle. It's about $600. I can pull it out and then order it and then have one on hand here if it is a problem. But if not, well, oh well. You spent that.